Hi, are you someone who's looking for Pakistan studies resources? Well, do not worry. Here's your guide, Simrati Lakhwani, and I'll let you guys know how to get an A star in Pakistan Studies O level, code number 2059. So let's get to the real story. I actually appeared for this paper in October November session of 2024, and by only studying for 3 months, I secured an A star. Even you think it's difficult, it's something, but for me, it was just a piece of cake. So a student like me who gets an A star, you definitely can get one as well. So just follow this video, subscribe to my channel, and know what is the secret behind of getting an A star. Okay, let's be real now. If you're someone who's preparing for O-level Pakistan studies, you might know it has two portions. It has history and culture of Pakistan and the environment of Pakistan. Students usually find history and culture of Pakistan difficult because it has three sections. It has section 1, 2, and 3. The third section is quite difficult and students usually leave it. But here's the deal, you really do not need to leave that because your goal is to get an O level A star, right? So you need to actually cover the entire syllabus in order to get the best out of the paper, because a paper can come from anywhere. We do also have a compulsory question. For instance, if you're someone who just left the section 6, no, not 6, but 3, and it comes in paper as a compulsory question, what is something that you're going to do? You'll be like in a great mess. So you actually need to cover the entire syllabus in order to be very sure that okay, you have studied everything. Other than that, in history you need to make sure that you actually study the pattern. In a O-level paper, you will need to make sure that the examiner wants what examiner wants from you, right? Examiner ka pattern you need to actually check. Like, you need to go on Google, go anywhere, like, get a Google. Let me, go on Google, search O-level Pakistan studies, like the syllabus 2025, and just click on the first thing that you get, and here you go, you have your Pakistan studies syllabus. Make sure that you guys read it thoroughly, probably make notes because this is very important. I was just stupid that, like, in starting months I was like, what is going to happen, like there's nothing in this, but no, it has the entire thing. You really need to know what is the pattern of writing the questions answers, because for in my case what happened was, like, in history we usually get three questions. Like, we have question 4, question 7, question 14, which is like these marks. A question 4 requires you to give actually 4 information, that's it, right? But if, for instance, a student who doesn't know that you just need to give the 4 details and you don't know the correct pattern, you might be stuck. Like in my paper, back in 2023, I remember 2024, we got a question of a 4 marker which was about a Kanpur battle. Yeah. So a lot of students were actually confused at what is this Kanpur battle, because we did had a lot of them. But you really need to study and point it out. Uske alawa bhi, you need to give 4 information, and that's it, you get 4 out of 4. Uske baad we get 7 marker question where you just need to give 3 details, which means you just need to write three paragraphs in total, and with the correct information, of course. Sometimes happens that you have correct information but you don't know how to write in a correct pattern. Due to that, examiner never gives you the full marks. Of course, किसी के भी full marks नहीं आते. You'd never get 7 out of 7 according to whatever the papers that I've checked, and whatever the resources that I've gone to. But it's just that you at least get 7 out of 6, which is a great deal. Okay? And then we have a 40 marker question. It tells you to give like a 4 paragraphs and a contribution end. For me, it was always easy. For like 4 marker and 7 marker were always easy. 40 marker I used to have a difficulty, but then I eventually figured it out. But then if I come towards past papers, because a lot of people tell you to go and solve past papers, for me it was more like learning the entire content. For instance, like if I have like 3 months in my exam, the first thing that I will do will be actually learning everything. I have these two, I'll divide my time, I'll use it very wisely. I'll divide my time, I'll take these 2 months for learning entire content. In the end, like the last month, I'll probably solve past papers, which won't be like real solving. It will be more like, for instance, let's take an example. I have a question that why did Mughal Empire decline after the Aurangzeb death? So that's like a very easy question and we usually get it. So it's a 40 marker question. What I'll do is I'll just see the question, I'll just remember in mind the pattern. The pattern is most probably the new one, probably might get changed. It has that you write four paragraphs and a conclusion. So I used to remember that okay, these are 4 points, these four things that I can write in my exam and crack it. So that's how I used to really solve the past papers for history. So history was like that. You just need to learn everything. It's ratta, of course. You need to be good at that as well. If you're someone who's actually having a hard time with dates, I'll recommend you to actually make a flow chart. Like a lot of people might have told you that sari dates likh lo, like section 1 to bilkul hi alag hai. Section 1 is just out of the syllabus. Sometimes I feel like that, but it's easy and it's short, so you can do that. If I talk about section 2 and 3, it's a story, bro. It's story from the East India Company to the ending and how the partition happened. So it has always been very interesting. Take it as a story because that's what how the Pakistan got made. So you should know about your country, damn it. Okay. Afterwards, so yeah, that was all about history. You just need to if you're someone who really wants to solve the past papers, I remember my classmates used to actually write all those paragraphs, and I used to be like, no, I'm not going to do that. Or a lot of them used to follow the same technique. So that's what I followed, and you can follow that same. So as for geography paper, it's always been easy because that's environment of Pakistan, and that's what you see around, right? So you really need to crack it down. So it has 12 chapters in total. The second chapter, which is the climate, might get a bit challenging for you because it has these terms that you usually don't understand, and someone like me really doesn't understand. So I really took like a week or 2 weeks to understand the chapter because I used to use my mind for that. A lot of people use that ratta thing in geography, but I tell you guys that won't work in geography. That might work for you in history. In geography it will never work because it's all mind. It's really mind. I remember I actually learned the entire syllabus, like all of the 12 chapters, 1 week before my exam, and the day of my exam I literally forgot every single thing. I just learned those, I just revised those 6 chapters, and I went to give exam, and I couldn't remember any single of thing. So it was all just I saw the paper, so the question, okay, I'll just think it logically and answer it. So that's what happened, and that's what happened. And the geography was my strongest subject, and I got the highest in that as well. So that's how you do it. And if you are really someone who's suffering with geography or history, YouTube is the best source because I was someone who studied a bit from my school. I didn't take any academy. YouTube is the best source because it has channels like MYM, which is the most famous and the best one. It really has all the videos, like it will give you chapter wise videos, and then it solves some past papers. In geography, I'll always tell you that you understand a topic. For instance, we have a topic of water resource like that, right? You learn waterlogging and salinity and every single thing. Then you should definitely solve past papers. If you don't solve past papers, it's waste. Even if it's like 3 months remaining to your exam, you learn this chapter, you solve past papers, and then you're going to ace it. Other than that, you are not going to ace it. uh, that's how it happens. So if it's last day of your exam and have just exam in 15 days, and you're like, okay, I've learned entire syllabus and now I will solve fast papers, that won't work in geography. That will definitely work in history. Like that's what I did in history. But there was a single case in history. Other than that, I would like to mention that it's fine if you guys study each subject a day. Like, of course, the Pakistan study has two portions, right? So, what I used to do was okay, I used to study history one day, and then the other day I used to study geography, and I used to only study 4 hours a max. You really don't need to study 8 hours, 12 hours, or you need to pull out a night owl. Like पूरे दिन नहीं पढ़ना है, रात को भी नहीं जग के पढ़ना है. It's not like that. You really need to have a calm and peaceful mind when you're learning it. And from a school that I come from, where we have definite a lot of extracurricular activities, it really gets difficult to study. But if you're from the same school, or if you are someone who's stuck, it's okay. Just give it a 4 hour a day. 4 hours used to be more like I used to actually take 25 minutes break as well in between. So that's fine. I really hope you guys like this video, and it will probably somehow help you, cracking your exam or probably getting an A star. A star in Pakistan studies is not impossible. Definitely not. When I give the exam, I was like, no, I'm not going to get any sort of grade. I was like, I was expecting A, but not an A star. But that's fine, right? You work hard and you get it. Even if it's like 1 month remaining exam, bro, you got this. You really need to study. Uh, make sure you divide your time. It's very important. The best thing that you can do is dividing your time. If you don't divide it, you might get lost eventually. And do not pull night hours. Do not actually study at night, because it will eventually drain you out. I am a student who actually doesn't sleep the entire night for the exam. Like, I remember I gave my geography paper and I only slept for 1 hour, which is definitely very much wrong, because after my geography paper, I couldn't study for my history paper, which was something that I still regretted. But eventually I got good marks and I am okay. But it can happen in your case as well. So make sure you at least have 5 hours sleep. And yeah, so these were like a bit of tips and tricks from an A-star student. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Probably not enjoy it, but it doesn't give you any sort of tension. And yeah, you guys can hit me up in the comment sections if you guys have any questions. You guys need notes. I'll share my notes with you guys as well, some resources and other like that. If you're someone who is like still stuck with the notes and couldn't understand anything, and if you guys get some notes and you are like, okay, I cannot read a big note, just make some short key notes, which will definitely help you. So yeah, bye bye, that's a smarty.